Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. I was having so much fun today. My son came over and set up the AI app on my phone, and you can ask it anything. You can tell it to do anything. I created so many crazy pictures of myself. Some of them are on Instagram, so I did like a remake to make myself look more like the AI me. Okay, so I was having my fun. This video is how to hold cash the easy way, even if you're broke. So we kind of know that a bad thing to do is spend money, and a good thing to do is hold your money. So you might be thinking, I don't see how I'm supposed to do that. Everything costs more. And, I don't have any spare money. Well, I was going into the discount shopping. That saves up a few dollars. But the way that is really better to do it is the week-by-week approach and then the day-by-day approach in the week. So like today, I didn't spend any money. There's been times in my life where I've gone very long extended periods of time not spending money. So, okay, let's think about August. We have August 4th through 10th. That's a whole week. And we have 4 weeks in the month of August. So we're just going to worry about the first week, and we're just going to go day by day, and we're not spending any money. Now, if I want to buy a Diet Coke, or I need something like some toilet paper, I will buy that, but other than that, nothing. Okay, so let's think about this. Let's just say you give yourself $10 spending money a day, and you don't spend any money. The next day you have $20. So if you go through the week and you have $70, at the beginning of the week you have $140, and it accumulates. Okay, so now the next month is September 1 through 7th. Then we go 4 full weeks with 2 days left over. So we have 2 remaining days. And then October, so you might be thinking, I don't want to think about the rest of the year. This is the easiest way to do it. October is 4 weeks and 5 days. So between September and, see, this is the tricky part. October, we have a week. 2 and 5 is a week. So instead of really, you think about September and October as 4 weeks, between the two of them is really 5 weeks. Okay, so then let me go over here. November is 4 weeks and 2 days, and December is 4 weeks and 3 days. So with those 2 months, you have 5. Otherwise, you have 12 days. So you have these extra days that don't seem like anything, but they are. So if on these months, all you can do is just don't spend money on these extra days, at the end of the year, you're going to have almost 2 weeks money, and hopefully you can buy Christmas with that. So now is August. Summer can be expensive if you start spending. So, okay, in October we have Halloween. I usually buy candy. I'm recycling my costume. You guys will see it. I'm having Sloppy Joes, tater tots, Rice Krispie treats, or cake. I haven't decided. So that's what I have coming up in October. So just make a list of all the weeks. And so tomorrow, my only goal is do not spend money tomorrow. Okay, I bought lots of markdown food, so I have all kinds of food, but if you don't, try to get some of those dollar bags of vegetables. I'll go into that in a minute. Go week by week. Try not to spend any money. Not misery making. Misery making is not a good idea. The next week, you're going to have 2 times as much money. And then 3 times and 4 times. But let's say you go, I just can't do it. Try to go the weekend. That's 2 days. Then try to go Friday, Saturday, and Sunday without cashing your paycheck. Like a lot of people, they go shopping and they buy gas on Friday, and by Monday they're broke. Try not to do that. Or try to go, I've heard of people who spend very little money during the week and then spend a little bit more money on the weekend. But the better thing when you're trying to hold on to money is don't spend money. When I was married to my ex-husband, I was always saving money. And he'd go, Ruthie, give me half of the money. And I go, no, Mike, there is no money. He'd go, and so like I would put a certain amount in my wallet. He'd go, give me half of the money. I know you have it. So I would, this was money I was going to give to him anyway because he was going to drive me insane. And so I would give him half so he knew how much was left. And he would drive me insane, give me half, and pretty soon none was left. So you can do it that way too. But it's better. Once you get into the habit of not spending, you don't even notice it. If you have food, if you have water, and you have a house, you can get by. So then continue to add the weeks until you work up to 3 months. You can go 3 months. Now, one thing you could do, I went to the food pantry about 4 weeks. That saved me a lot of money because not only did I have the food that I got, but I also didn't spend that much money. It may have seemed like I did, but I didn't. But if you need food, just do it. Okay, so then you know you're trying to work up. Okay, now November, I have a birthday and Thanksgiving. Okay, the birthday in November is the baby, so that doesn't cost much. And Thanksgiving doesn't cost much because we don't go wild on Thanksgiving. And then December, you have 4 weeks and 3 days. And the only thing I have is Christmas. And I don't spend that much. I spend $100 on each person. That's it. And then I have a birthday. Okay, so now I want to talk about one thing that can really help is trying to earn extra money. The 2 ways I earn extra money, I decided to go back to work because I thought you are healthy. You can work until you can't work. So I want to show you something. All right, I discovered something. Now this was what I used to do in a salon. I would go into a failing salon and I would price the stuff and I would put a clientele in, and then, you know, I'd be fired, and it was a ongoing process. So what I found out is these kind of cookbooks, if you list them and you take a bid for $6, they sell easily. Okay, so you might be going, well, that's probably a vendor. Yeah, that's true. And they probably know I paid $1 each. And they probably know that if they pay me $5, I'm probably going to take it. So I sold this awesome cookbook and I just listed this one. So what I do is I give special consideration to the vendors because when I was doing the swap meet, I knew they would blow in and they would buy everything I had. And then I listed this. I bought this at a thrift store. This is a cable knit sweater. This is the kind of stuff, hand knitted. This is the kind of stuff, if you are willing, like the books. So I listed this for $15, but I can't lower the price and they have to pay shipping. But it's a really nice sweater and I listed it for $15. Oh, I want to mention notice my flower arrangements. Okay, those little plants were these little bitty plants last year with some little orange flowers. They got really ratty and I threw them in the corner and they didn't die, so I revived them and they're like 2-3 times bigger. And then I just put some artificial flowers in them. And so what I'm doing is I'm preparing home decor for Christmas. So if I had like 8 or 10 of these in my living room, it would look so pretty. Okay, so you might say, okay, I don't even have $1 to buy books. You have to be careful when you buy books. You don't want to buy books that aren't going to sell. You want to buy something that you know is going to sell, and then you want to ship it out and be done with it. So, okay, so say if you had $6 a day, it was really $5, but once your dollar's gone, it's gone. And you maybe took that $1 and bought another book. So say if you did that 2 times a week, you would have $10. And if you did that 4 times a month, you would have $40, which could come in handy, especially when you're not spending. But if you don't have any money, you can find stuff curbside. I got all kinds of stuff around here. I got a flower thing that I got. I saw a treadmill. I saw a carpet. I've gotten big piles of toys. And what you do is you just put it in your garage, or you put it somewhere. I mean, even clothes at the swap meet. And then when you get about 10 bags, sell it. Okay, so even can collecting. My neighbor used to collect the cans, mine and his. I gave him mine. That's one thing I can't stand. I can't stand insects or rodents. And so he would get about $60 every few months. So now I learned something about selling the books, because I've been trying to do this for a while. For one thing, my L. Ron Hubbard book was a first edition. So, okay, and if you want to ask the AI, you can say, how much is my book worth? So I think the AI isn't he, but it said, if it's a first edition, it's worth more, and I checked and it was, not that I'm selling it. Okay, so now I got this tip from a guy. When I see somebody looking at the books, trying to hog the space, I go, do you sell books? And I got some tips. Try to find the same book you sold. I go, yeah, why didn't I think of that? And try to find new books that were just published, that are brand new, and sets of brand new books. And then if you find a book that sells, try to find another one. So I thought that was a great tip. Now, one thing you can do is pay your credit cards down, because you're not spending, and that's going to save you. I mean, even if it's only $10 a day, it's still going to help you. And then after you start paying the credit cards down, if you want to increase your limits, if you just apply for a new card, a lot of times they'll raise your limits when they send you the card. Okay, this one is kind of brutal, but if you have projects around the house like I do, don't go anywhere. Just go where you have to go. Like I have to go to the gym. Maybe I have to go to the store. Oh, I'll show you something. I did have to go to the store because I had to get some packing stuff. I got this awesome, this was Dollar Tree for $3. It's only this full, but I go, that's still a good deal. So I took that. They had 2 other ones for $4, but I thought, I'm just going to buy one because I don't know if I like it. And if I don't like it, I'll just use it for an emergency. So if I find something like that, I will buy it. I don't necessarily want to buy food. All right. So don't go anywhere extra, to save wear and tear on your car. If you have to have a car repair, it's so expensive. And God forbid if you get in a little fender bender. And save on utilities. Like what I do, whatever room I'm in, that's the room I live in. Okay, now I want to mention a little bit about the stockpile. I'm enjoying the elephants. All right, so remember the thing, I had 2 cans beans. Well, I want to mention, like, if you buy 1 can. So I got these beans at Walmart. These are good. I mean, you can make so much stuff out of these. So it's beans, 1 can meat. Now this is a big can of Vienna sausages, Dollar Tree. So I was over there today when I had to get the packing stuff, and this is incredible. It expires 2029, so I want to eat these, and if I like them, I'll buy 6. So it's beans and then soup or meals. So I took tomato soup, and then what I do is I put evaporated milk, tomato soup, half a can evaporated milk, and half a can of water. And then I usually buy 6 boxes of crackers. So if you want to increase your stockpile a little without saving money, I'm going to get into this in a minute. And then here is the Sloppy Joe mix I bought. I put this in a box for Halloween. And then here is a box of macaroni. And if last night I made the stuffed peppers, and I wanted to see how the homemade cheese was gonna work, and it worked really good. I was eating those today. That's why I'm not hungry. Oops, that's not it. Oh, here it is. Okay, I want to show you. This was just buttermilk, and I boiled it, and when it separated, I also have whey. So, so you have cheese if you needed to, but we're going to get into that in a minute. But this is really good for like, here's the cheese. There's a little whey in there, but let me cut off a little piece of cheese. This is homemade cheese, you guys. Just boil your buttermilk. Here it is. Oh, so good. All right, now I took out a lemon pudding, and I want to give you a good recipe. And then I took out a good can of tuna. So a while back, what I did was I upgraded my food storage a little bit. If you're really broke, just buy the cheapest one. And so I started buying the solid white albacore. So I'll talk to you guys about this food storage real quick. Okay, for the lemon pudding, back in the olden days, we didn't go and buy these bakery cakes that everybody buys now. We made our desserts. And I remember this one dessert, one of my friends, I think, was getting married, and I made the dessert, and I thought it was so great. And it was cooked. It has to be the cook and serve for the best results. Lemon pudding. You tear up angel food cake in bite-sized pieces. You carefully mix it into the prepared pudding, and then you put whipped cream on the top, and you toast your almonds in the oven at 400. And I thought that was, and then when you refrigerate it, you can slice it. You could put a graham cracker crust on the bottom if you want. So that is my lemon pudding recipe. Okay, so now you could have baked beans with the Vienna sausages, but if you have Vienna sausages and eggs and toast, that is good too. So I wrote down some good Vienna sausage recipes for you guys. I think these are going to be good. 2029 sausages and sauerkraut with mashed potatoes, potato soup, and then, you know, I cooked the sausages in oil, sausages with pepper and onion that I have in the refrigerator, sausages and cabbage, a stir fry with garlic. So the way I would make that is I would saute the cabbage and the onions, and then I would scoot those over, and I would scramble 2 eggs, and then I'd put salt, pepper, and sugar, and then I would put the rice in the oil after I fried the sausages to refry the rice. Then put all that stuff, add the eggs left, and then season with salt, pepper, and sugar, and soy sauce. Eggs and potatoes. And a sausage sandwich. I just fry them, and then I put bread with mustard. Okay, and now I want to talk about the crackers. The crackers go with the soup. The soup is a dairy, and I usually always try to get some kind of cereal each week, about 1. And I'm not worried if I buy a little bit. I can always, too much, I can always donate it. Okay, I want to talk about fry bread, pancakes, and Johnny cakes. Okay, with beans you can make cornbread, but Johnny cakes are like pancakes, and all you need, now I usually make half a batch, and I make a small one so I can control them so they don't burn. 1 cup cornmeal, but if you don't have any, just use a cornbread mix. 1/2 cup flour, 2 tablespoons sugar, 1 teaspoon salt, 1.5 teaspoons baking powder, 1 cup milk, but in the old days they used water, or you can just add a 1/4 cup powdered milk, 1 egg, 2 tablespoons melted butter. So add the dry ingredients and then add the wet ingredients and let your batter sit for a while so it is a nice fat pancake. And then you can serve those with syrup or honey or homemade applesauce. So let me give you a look at this. And then I want to give you this baked bean recipe that's in one of these cookbooks I'm selling. And I thought I will get this recipe before I sell the cookbook. Because another thing that is good is ham with baked beans on toast with cold peaches. Okay, 1 pound bacon. Now this is going to be a big batch, but you don't have to make this much. 1 pound of bacon, fry and drain. A large can of Great Northern beans. I just use pork and beans. 1/2 pound brown sugar. I just use ketchup. A large onion, a bottle of hot ketchup. I always wonder what people use that stuff for. An 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, and bake 1.5 hours at 325. So I bet this is good. Every once in a while I could have picked up this hot ketchup. I think that would be really good in baked beans. All right. So then the good thing about this is quite a bit of food. So, you know, you can have a tuna sandwich and you can have macaroni and cheese. You know, I made that so many times. All right. So that's a little stockpile. All right. I gave you the Johnny Cakes recipe. We're going to suspend spending so that some people are going to get to the end of this year and it's going to be really broke. So we don't want that to be us. All right, so back to the stockpile. So now, beans, meat, soup, or canned meal and milk, any kind, like shelf-stable milk. So if you buy on your extra days, say if you have 2 extra days in the month, what happens is a lot of times 2 and 3 days out of the month, you're broke. So if you, when you have money, if you can conserve like the first week a little bit, it's going to help you so much. Okay, and then bread, if you have the stuff for homemade bread or you make fry bread, eggs, hopefully, or go to the food pantry, cheese. I buy the good stuff when it's marked down, but it could be any kind. I bought a really nice block of cheese at Ralph's, mozzarella, so that I could make ziti with pasta, with tomato sauce, and with cheese and olives. Peanut butter, I make it homemade, but when you find a good deal, at grocery outlet, they have the big ones, so cheap. Cereal, any kind. And then I have potatoes, rice, sweet potatoes, and pasta. So with the pasta, I can make macaroni and cheese, but with the potatoes and sweet potatoes, you made your homemade butter, which is cheaper than regular butter because it's getting expensive. And then you have sour cream at all times. And then you have dry chives, which it took me a week to find them. Then you buy a lot of fruits and vegetables marked down. I showed you how to do that. Go shopping early in the morning, and unless it's something you really need, don't buy it. Okay, and then when you get these fruit and vegetables, you're gonna pickle it. Easy canning, it's so easy. You just get the jars, sterilize the jars, put the stuff like the applesauce in the jar, but in applesauce, make sure there's no bubbles. And then wipe the rim with vinegar and put the lid on and the top, and then boil it for like 20 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, depends. You can do anything, it's easy canning, jam and freezing. So this is going to save us money. And that is quite a bit of laundry detergent. I don't know what happened with that. I think some people, you know, they buy a lot. Remember when we were talking about those people who buy a lot and then they have to return it because they don't have any money at the end of the month? And then they don't have any laundry detergent either. And that is a real bummer. All right, you guys. So today's over by the time you see this. But tomorrow, when we get up in the morning, think about, okay, how can I get by today? Well, I have oatmeal. I have a 1/4 cup powdered milk. I have nuts and raisins, or I have granola. And then I have a 1/4 cup powdered milk and 1.5 cups water. So I have a nice big pan of oatmeal. And then if I have leftovers, I'm not going to say, I don't want to eat those. Tell you the truth, I didn't want to eat the peppers either. So I waited until I was hungry, and they tasted really kind of good. So what I discovered is you should really remove the skin. Not that I plan on making them again, but I just scraped the pepper off the skin and it was good. But what I wanted to see is, will my cheese hold up, like if I make cheese enchiladas, or I'll probably use that in my ziti. And then for dinner, you have your stockpile. Hopefully, maybe you're just going one day. Maybe you have eggs and toast, you know, things like that. It depends. Maybe you have spaghetti sauce. You know, you could go hot dogs, hamburgers, Italian, Mexican. I'm trying to think of what I used to make. Some kind of like fish thing. I used to get fish fillets. You know what is really a good idea is fish with potatoes and a chocolate milkshake. That is cheap and that is pretty good too. And then maybe chicken 2 times a week and you can survive. You have potatoes, you have rice. And so then, let's say you don't, then like here, the food pantry would be Saturday. I'd be there. I guarantee you, I would not go through this and find myself at the end of this year without any money. Bad things might happen. But for those of us that are prepared, bad things aren't going to happen. For one thing is like when you're doing your best, I mean, let's say your best is lame. You're just a lame person. That was me most of my life. God somehow always took care of me, no matter how bad it was. I remember one Christmas and I was doing hair and I was working late, and there was this young girl that I used to do, and she came in and she goes, I got a nice big Christmas bonus, and she gave me $50. Well, there was this game my son wanted, and it was like Christmas Eve, and I was there so late I wanted to pull my hair out. So I couldn't find this stupid game, so I drove to Target. There it was. I took my $50, I bought the game, and my son was so happy. I could tell you so many funny they're funny now. But anyway, so that is just one example. Or like if you need food and you say, well, I'm going to find some markdown food. I found that if it's not there one morning, you got to go the next morning until you find stuff. Okay, you guys, no spending. I mean, if you need something, buy it, but if not, don't. Save your money. All right, you guys, I will see you tomorrow, and we'll carry on with this holding your money thing. I want to mention something about holding money. Okay, you know these people with money, what you don't know is you don't know them. Like I had a boyfriend, and he said, you know what, I'd almost want to be a hobo again if I was young. And I go, what does that mean? I go, what are you talking about, hobo? He goes, yeah, I was a hobo. I go, are you kidding me? He goes, no, he was the thriftiest person you can imagine, of course. Or you don't see these people scrimping and saving to accumulate money. I know so many stories of a little money that saved the entire family because this one person had saved the money, stuff like that. Or like the time I told you I bought the house, I bought the beauty shop, I sold the beauty shop. This lady came in and she said, listen, my husband's going to the penitentiary. I go, what? She goes, yeah, and I don't have any way to support my kids. Are you going to sell the shop? And I said, no, I have no plan. She goes, let me give you a card. My husband and I fought so violently, I called her up and I said, come get the shop. Yeah, that was my life. All right, you guys, I will see you tomorrow. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And then my husband was good for a little while because we had the money, but then it went down south again. All right, bye, you guys.